Let's get out to Minute Maid Park in Houston and bring in Michael Kay and Ken Singleton. And you can't help but wonder, will the wins come from starting pitching or the bullpens, and who has the strength?
Well, I'll tell you what, the Yankees have the advantage in both of those, and we'll break that down for you. I felt that coming into this postseason, the game that scared me the most was against the Minnesota Twins, because that's one game where you can't flaunt the fact that you have a deep starting staff. Look at the last series. That series, the Twins, or should I say the Indians, trusted 3 of their guys, so much so that when there was a game 4, they had to go with Bauer with short rest, and he did not handle it well. And then the Yankees obviously were able to do what they did against Kluber. I think the same happens in this game as well, or in this series. The Astros have 2 big-time starters. The Yankees have 5, and they have to take away Jordan Montgomery, so they'll have Sonny Gray as their 4th starter. The depth of their rotation, I think, makes them really, really tough in any short series, because no Yankee has to start on short rest.
That's very true, Michael, and the fact is I think the Yankee bullpen proved itself in the wild card game when Severino could only go a third of an inning. The bullpen came on strong, so that shows you the strength of the overall pitching staff of the New York Yankees. You mentioned the starters. I'm going to go with the bullpen. If a starter falters, the bullpen can pick up the pace. And the fact is, there's 2 off days in this series, series against the Houston Astros here. I have to look for the Yankees be strong, out of the bullpen, well-rested bullpen going into each game.
Now, one thing that they're going to have to do differently with the bullpen, obviously, is they can't use it the way they used it in a Game 5, where you could see that the pitchers that Joe trusted the most were David Robertson and then Aroldis Chapman, and then he got the innings out of them. You've got to use everybody now, especially in Games 3, 4, and 5, when those are no off days. It's one game after the other. So you've got to get your trust again in a Chad Green, and you've got to get your trust in a Tommy Kahnle. You might have to use other guys out of the bullpen as well. It can't just be 2 guys that you trust. He has to use all of them.
You mentioned Green. He's well rested coming into this series, and the fact is he was a big-time factor for the Yankees all season long. Power pitcher out of the bullpen, upward 90s in his fastball, and just puts people away. Struggled somewhat a little bit earlier in the postseason, but now I think he's ready to go.
It's going to be interesting to see how Dellin Betances slips into there as well. Now get back to the starting pitching. For the Astros, you've got starting pitchers that have been tough against the Yankees. Dallas Keuchel tonight, and then you have Justin Verlander tomorrow. But after that, they don't even name their 3rd, 4th, and Game 5 starters yet, because they have to see who they're going to use out of the bullpen. Is it going to be Peacock? Is it going to be Morton? Might they go with McCullers out of the bullpen and back into the starting rotation? Those are a lot of questions for A.J. Hinch.
Yeah, that's right, but the first 2 are very tough. Divergent style as well. Keuchel's more of a finesse pitcher. He's given the Yankees problems over the years, and we all know Justin Verlander, the veteran. He came over here. He won all 5 of his starts going down the stretch for these Astros, and then he won 2 games in a division series, 1 in relief. First time he's ever pitched in relief and picked up a win. So he's more of a power pitcher, high fastball in the 90s, and he's got a good slider, good breaking ball. He's been one of the best pitchers, former Cy Young Award winner. The same for Keuchel, but there's 2 different styles there.
Now, Keuchel faced the Yankees once this year, 6 shutout innings, and Tanaka faced the Astros once. He did not pitch well, just an inning and 2/3, and gave up 8 hits and 7 runs. Yeah. So they hope that goes against the trend.
Well, going against the trend would be if Tanaka pitched the way he has in his last 2 starts. The 15 strikeouts against Toronto down the stretch, and his win against the Cleveland Indians in a big Game 3, elimination game where he pitched well against the Cleveland Indians. Tanaka came out of that game, and he looked good. Everything was down low, and I think with these Astro hitters, they're very aggressive. One thing they don't do, they struck out the fewest times of any team in the league and hit the 2nd most home runs, which tells you they go into the counts and they're swinging quickly. They're aggressive. They don't walk all that much. They're going to put the ball in play. For Tanaka, keep the ball down, make good pitches as he's had his last 2 starts. He could be effective.
And Bob, Jack, and John, what this shows you is what great teammates we are, because the 2 offenses in this series, the 2 best offenses in baseball. We talk pitching. So, Bob, we left the red meat for you.